Hey, what's up everyone? Welcome to Let's Talk, the series where we worship Margot Robbie. Today we're talking about Birds of Prey and the fantabulous emancipation of one Harley Quinn. Okay, this is the plot. Harley Quinn is broken up with the Joker, so the immunity that being Joker's girlfriend she had runs out, and everyone that she or Joker has ever wronged wants her head. Naturally, this includes a hell of a lot of people. Meanwhile, a young girl steals a diamond that Black Mask wants, and Harley Quinn somehow gets roped into trying to protect her. Did you notice how I didn't say anything about the Birds of Prey? Yeah, that's because this movie forgot that was the title of the film. Seriously, this is a Harley Quinn movie, and I cannot for the life of me figure out why they didn't just call this movie Harley Quinn and the Birds of Prey. The team-up the title of this movie promises happened so goddamn late that at the hour mark I was starting to wonder if this would be a 3-hour film because the movie was nothing but Harley Quinn shenanigans up until that point. But I'm getting ahead of myself here. First, the good. Margot Robbie is fantastic. You know how there are certain actors that fit a role so perfectly that you couldn't see anyone else portray that character? Margot's Harley Quinn is up there with Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman as Deadpool and Wolverine. It's like she was made for this role, and she's the best thing about this film. If you like Margot or her Harley Quinn, this movie will entertain you just based off of that. Another good thing about this movie is Ewan McGregor's Black Mask. Black Mask's personality in this film is basically nothing like his comic counterpart, but this was a change that I didn't mind too much, considering the hilarious performance from McGregor. Ewan is just seriously out there hamming it up and having fun, and it's fun to watch him having fun. His British accent does slip through a few times, but he's decent in the role. I also want to praise the action sequences, and there are a lot. They're all very well choreographed, and from the way they were shot, it's very easy to see what's going on and who is who. Harley Quinn kicks major ass in this movie, almost to the point where it makes you wonder, did she ever need the Joker in the first place? Which, I guess, is the point the movie is trying to make. Okay, here's the bad. Other than being a rather forgettable film, my main issue stems from how this film was marketed. In nearly every trailer, this film is portrayed as a team-up film, and it's really not. I kept waiting to see Black Canary, Batgirl, and Huntress become a badass team, but Batgirl never materializes and the team-up doesn't happen until the end of the film. It's a constant barrage of Harley narrating and her doing stuff. This movie is also painfully average, even with the performances from Margot and Ewan. You have to understand, without those two, this movie's disjointed plot, kinda lame jokes, and really weak characters would make this film very bad. I found this film to be slightly better than Suicide Squad, and when you're only slightly better than that film, you got problems. Problems like the other members of the Birds of Prey are barely characterized. The film spends so much time with Quinn that the other characters suffer for it. This means when you get to the point of the film that the women are supposed to work together, you will absolutely not believe why they would even work together in the first place. It all happens way too fast because it's way too late in the movie. It felt to me like this movie was supposed to be just a Harley Quinn story, but WB didn't think that would sell and decided to tack the Birds of Prey team onto the script. Then, the film takes random head-scratching liberties with the source material. For the record, some I am okay with, such as the campy Black Mask and making Montoya a founding member of Birds of Prey instead of Barbara Gordon, but then there's Cassandra Cain. In the comics, Cassandra Cain might just be the best martial artist in DC who can essentially predict your next attack, and she eventually becomes Batgirl. Cassandra Cain is my favorite DC Comics character, so I might be a little sensitive to changes to her characterization, but Jesus, the only thing they got right about her is that she's Asian. If you're not big into the comics, I can totally see this not even phasing you, but just know they ruined this character and she's nothing like her comic counterpart. This Cassandra Cain isn't mute, can't fight, and pickpockets for a living. What the hell did they call her Cassandra Cain for? She's basically a human MacGuffin only in the movie to motivate all the other characters. It's like this character could have been any Jane Doe and nothing would have changed. As a Cassandra Cain fan, I honestly feel disrespected that DC would do this to a member of the Bat family. This movie also kind of shies away from anything Batman or Joker related. What I mean is, it's obvious this film didn't know who WB wanted to play Batman or Joker, so these two characters are noticeably absent the entire film, and with this movie taking place in Gotham, it's kind of distracting that they're both mentioned but never show up. Batman especially. I just couldn't believe in a Gotham where Black Mask, Victor Zsasz, and Harley Quinn are raising hell and Batman just doesn't care enough to show up. I think this had a lot to do with Ben Affleck leaving the role and this film still taking place in the same DCEU as Wonder Woman and Shazam. Mary Elizabeth Winstead as Huntress was okay. The problem is, as I mentioned earlier, she has so little screen time that we aren't really shown what she can do in the role. She does get a really funny scene that cracked up my theater, but it's disappointing that she isn't given much, if anything, to do. Journey Smollett's Black Canary suffers from the same problem, although she has a very cool fight sequence towards the beginning of the film. So to wrap this up, I thought this film was just okay. It doesn't really give us any insight into the DCEU, and the turmoil that the DCEU is currently going through doesn't really help. We are given two very fun and entertaining performances from Robbie and McGregor, but they can't really bring this movie to the point where I'd say you have to go see this in the theater. I laughed a few times and I wasn't bored overall, but it's really an average movie in a world where being an average comic book movie just isn't enough. A C. Thanks for tuning in to this episode of Let's Talk. As always, I recommend you make up your own mind on these films, as film appreciation is subjective and you might just enjoy this movie more than I did. That being said, do you want to see Birds of Prey? Have you seen Birds of Prey? Let me know what you thought about it in the comment section below. I'd love to compare notes. Anyway, this has been your friendly neighborhood Birdman, and I'll catch you in the next one.